Hi, this is Mr. Smith, or 1T. You can see here my name is Scott Smith, and Scott spelled with 1T, so that's where the nickname came from. Anyway, I want to run through the syllabus and just kind of highlight some of the more important things, or at least the things that students tend to care about the most. It's important that you are able to communicate with your instructor, and so you'll find that I'm very responsive. So it says within 24 hours. Normally it's going to be way faster than that, sometimes immediate. But anyway, contact information. The best ways to reach me are either using email, or you can text or call this number here, which is a Google Voice number. If you need to have a conversation, give me a call. Um, Otherwise, email works great, or texting. This is an internet course, and so office hours are going to be held online in eCampus. If for some reason you need to get a hold of our division office, you can try this link. That's what we've been using. And also there's a phone number. There may or may not be people at that desk, but you can give that number a call. You can try either of these. One of those should work, and if not, let me know. This course is 1332, Contemporary Math. We're in section 73, 740. It's an internet course. Notice the last day to withdraw is June 23rd. Hopefully that won't apply to anybody. It talks about course prerequisites. The main thing about this course is this is not on the algebra track. This is a different track. So if you're planning to go on to college algebra and calculus and those types of courses, then you're probably in the wrong place, although sometimes students will take this course, but it is not part of that algebra track. This is our course description. There's some student learning outcomes. You can pause the video and read if you're interested. Same thing with core objectives. Some of these are things that you see. Well, these are things that are unique to this course, but these Texas core objectives you probably see in most or all of your syllabi. So required course materials. The nice thing about this course is if you sign up and you are part of the Include Ed program, then your materials, the My Math Lab basically is your book, and that's where you do all your homework and everything. That's included in the cost of signing up for this course. If you don't participate in the Include Ed program, you want to make sure that you purchase those materials on your own from the school bookstore. At least last time I heard, you had to do it through the school bookstore. And you're going to pay about the same. So let's see. The other thing I should point out here is you're going to need a calculator, and that's not part of Include Ed. And the one that I'll be using is called a TI-30XS multi-view calculator. I highly recommend it. It's approximately $20, give or take. But the value of this calculator is it's very good at putting fractions and other expressions into the calculator. It makes it much easier than a more traditional scientific calculator. Even graphing calculators are sometimes more difficult to enter. Well, they are more difficult to enter some of the expressions we're going to be putting into our calculator. So if along the way you start having some issues using your current graphing calculator or whatever scientific calculator you're using, I would encourage you to buy this one here. And I know I hate to ask you to spend money beyond what you're already spending, but this calculator will make a difference. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. As far as graded work's concerned, you can see your homework's 15% of your grade, quizzes are 10%, tests are 60%, and the final is 15%. The grading is standard, 90 to 100% is an A, and so on. All right, I do want to spend some time on this part here, so I'll go into a little more detail. It says description of graded work. Homework. So homework's going to be assigned in My Math Lab, basically to help you practice what you're learning in the textbook. A great feature of MyMathLab is that you get immediate feedback for each of the problems, and if you get a wrong answer, you usually have access to detailed feedback on how to do the problem correctly. On the other hand, sometimes if you find yourself constantly clicking on the help buttons, that's an indication that you haven't learned the material. So you've got to be really careful with that. I would just encourage you to think about, whether you're learning it as you're going through the homework, and encourage you to write things down. Write down the problems, write out your solutions, and then later when you take a quiz, particularly you get two chances on the quiz. The first time you take the quiz, maybe you try to go back and look at your notes as needed. The second time you take your quiz, try to do it without your notes, because those quizzes are there to help you prepare for the test where you're not allowed to use any notes. So just writing things out and writing your work out and making sure you understand as you're working through the problems will make a big difference for you as far as how much you're remembering and how it's going to help you to do well on the test and on the final. So I talked about the quizzes briefly. Basically, the quizzes are what help you as far as you're doing more problems at a time from usually 2 or 3 sections. And they're going to give you, if you can do the quizzes and you're not needing to click or you're not using any of your notes or anything, and you're getting right answers, then that's a good indication that you're learning the material. And they will be timed about 60 minutes. And quizzes, again, are 10% of your grade. Let's see, there's going to be 4 tests, and basically you can see 60% of your grade comes from the test, so that's the biggest part of your course grade. And then finally, the final is 15% of your grade, and it is comprehensive, meaning it covers things from throughout the course. Basically, as far as homework's concerned, we're moving so fast that I think there's literally like a day or two between due dates and the test date for that material. And so there's really, after you take the test, you can't go back and do homework that was supposed to be completed for that test. And so make sure you're getting your homework done. You can't go back after the test and try to get more points back later. The whole point of the homework and the quizzes is to prepare you for the test. So just try to stay on top of that. You don't want to lose those homework points and quiz points. One of the really important things about an online course, and really it's true in any course, is communication. So it's really important that I'll be making announcements, and it's important that you're getting those announcements. And if you need to get a hold of me, that you can email me or contact me. And so you do want to make sure that your email address in eConnect is correct, so that when I send out announcements, you're going to get them. If you're having any problems using eCampus, you're going to want to call the IT number, and get help, because that's where we do all our work. You've got to be able to go in eCampus and work in eCampus. And then again, you can also use the number that I gave you earlier to text or email me as well. Sometimes students will call me when something comes up at the last minute, and or they'll text me, so feel free to do that. Okay, I really want to focus on this right here. Notice it's highlighted. Now, I'm not going to be seeing you in a classroom, and so attendance and participation is a little different than it would be in a face-to-face course. It says you will not be certified as attending the course if you've not enrolled into MyMathLab and completed the MyMathLab orientation and the Test 1 assignments up to section 5.6 by Sunday, June 6th, basically before midnight, with an average score of 70%. Now, when it says enroll in MyMathLab, when you click on the MyMathLab link, which I'll be showing you in a separate video, the first time you go in, it's going to ask you to register, and I don't know all that you have to do, but I know it's pretty simple. And so that's what you need to be registered, so that I can see that you're in the course and I can see your grades. And by the way, the orientation is actually just an optional thing that's there if you're not comfortable entering information into templates and that kind of stuff. So you can always work through that if you just want to get a feel for how to input answers and things like that. Most students these days are pretty good at that, so you may or may not need to do that. But you'll notice basically if you look at the schedule, there's 12 assignments that need to be that need to be done by Sunday. So that's basically 3 per day. So it's really important that you're getting those done, and you got to get off to a quick start. So I'm opening the course early. I'm hoping some of you will get off to an early start and get those assignments done early. And and by doing that, you're going to make your life a little bit easier, especially that first week. Notice students who earn a score of 80% or better on the homework will be allowed to replace their lowest test score with what they earn on the final. And so really what you want to shoot for is that B average. All right, so there's a lot of policies for Dallas College. If you've never read through these, you should do that. And then finally, you can see we have a course schedule. And I may make an adjustment. Actually, I think this is good. Yeah, this looks good. So this is the course schedule. Now you'll notice, and that's up to the final there. There's also these are the passwords, which I'll give you in an announcement before each test and before the final. But also you can see the deadlines for taking each of the tests, so that's kind of handy. But this schedule is the big thing here. And notice that you have all these assignments that are due on the 6th. Remember I said up through 5.6. Again, there's 12 assignments here, so that's going to be 3 per day on average. So if you can get a head start, that'll help. But the other thing I wanted to point out is I have also a recommended pacing schedule. And so that'll give you a suggestion. If you can work each day, it'll make things a lot easier than if you're just having to cram it into 2 or 3 days a week. So anyway, that's all I have to say about the syllabus. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know. That's what I'm here for.